in Gothenburg. Björn, are you able to some comments on that? You can have a microphone there. Björn is the director, I won't say culture authority, but say administration is not that technical, you know, kulturförvaltning. Björn Sandberg, what about the culture in urban planning of Gothenburg?
Well, the Department of Culture is also a part of the steering group of this River City project, and as a part of the project we have also a cultural project called Diverse City, which has been carrying out 2 full-day seminars of international workshops. Some of the people who have been talking here today have also been present. And I thank them especially for that. So this is, I think that culture is also a very important power, of course, for developing city districts, and I think it will be very interesting to see how we can do this inside the River City and in Gothenburg as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's there, and we're working on it. Any other questions? Yes, there is one down there. You only need the mic for recording purposes.
Well,
Yeah.
put anything on?
It's on, it's on, it's on.
It's on.
Feel free.
I'm back to the housing again. I'm a very old Gothenburgan. I was born here and I live now for almost 8 years in this town. And I have some pictures sort of in my brain of what a town or a village should be. Because I see the fishing villages, and I see, for instance, Haga Nygata, and I see the landshövdingehus, which are unique for Göteborg. And they are my pictures of a town. When, for instance, tourists come here, we always take them to Haga Nygata. We want the coziness, we want the narrow streets, and we want the low houses. We want the sun to be able to come down to the street. And we want to be outside as much as we want to be inside the houses. And I wonder now, is it economically sustainable to build a low town, urban town?
Great question.
Yes, sure.
Sure.
No, you can look.
As money rules, you know.
Depends. In the project we presented, we really work with the roads that exist. And if you rebuild where roads already exist, then you use the infrastructure that is on the place. If you build outside from the city low houses on new ground, then it's not very sustainable. We create new roads, new transport systems, etc. So it depends where you build it. It's not, you cannot answer the question in a general way.
But in a city such as River City?
Inside the city,
Yes, inside the city.
if you use the spaces that are already there, depends also how high is low building.
Because hur långt är ett snö?
I think you can squeeze in a lot of people on the same area when you build low, as you can put in high houses when you must have them scarce. You must put them out with a lot of land between them.
No, you can build dense with low housing.
Yeah.
That's it. There are many proofs of that.
We had an architect long ago here called Albert Ilgenberg, and he built low houses. Very loved area. All people want to live in his areas now. And he built low. Lands like Bagargården, Änggården and so on.
Thank you. And Marcus, you would like to comment on that, and then it's
I think the question is extremely important. It brings us to something which, in fact, was for all of us, one of the biggest fascinations of this project. I think you have to build a low city, which doesn't mean it's not dense, because the land is owned by the municipality. If you don't manage here, how should you manage if you have land speculation? So it's under full control. I think you need to, in order to achieve that, be more careful with how you use land. I mentioned in my presentation that we think that land is spoiled because there's too much land given away for singular uses like road infrastructure. So it depends how you solve that, fix that problem to be able to build that low sit. And if you have to, you want to build low rise because you don't want to have a windy town, cold town, within which high buildings accelerate wind speeds and make streets even less inhabitable. So I think
it will be a sustainable strategy.
Yeah, you want to be able to live outdoors, so you have to.
Thank you again. That is a very crucial issue, the density of the city and the shape it later takes. But I would like to ask a question very closely related to that question. And that is, now the 4 teams here, how many people do you really think should be living in Gothenburg, say 50 years from now? Because that is a decision. You can make Gothenburg very attractive, or people who might move out of Gothenburg, but it's also making the city space available. I'm talking about land within built-up areas in Gothenburg. No new land is included in this. I don't think we should use more new land if we can avoid it. But Sweco first, you had the longest vision.
Okay. Yeah, I think that there is a capacity in Gothenburg to grow. There are sort of waste spaces, there are lots of fragmented areas that could be knit together with mixed use. You can make the area more livable within its border. But I think it's also possible if you develop the public transportation as a core spines of the development. That has been, I think, I really like the comprehensive plan, that you can develop the spines with lots of mixed-use developments, then you can expand the city. But if you don't do this infrastructure, the basis for it, so I think it's a threat to develop, because then you get the fragmented city developed, you get, you can say, car-dependent environments all over. So I think you have to turn, really, that has been said many times, but if you don't turn the sort of agenda towards the public transportation, bicycling and walking, you should not grow anymore. Keep it as it is.
So take all these aspects into account.
You have to have this sort of very sort of forceful strategy for public transportation, for walking and cycling, before you decide the growth of the city.
Since dawn of man, the infrastructure has decided where people will settle. There is one last question up there.
Hello, it has been a very interesting day, and I'm very happy to be here and see all the suggestions. It's been very interesting and fun. I see that the community has 2 main issues here, and that is that Centrala Älvstaden is supposed to be like a regional engine, and also that Gothenburg also has a great need of central living or housing. But I have some reflections now on the suggestions I've seen here, and that is that Ringan is quite a lot of teams has been seen as an asset. And the rhetorical question is, we who live here in Gothenburg, do we really see that as an asset in the same way? And also, there are some teams who has been seeing Frihamnen as a possible green area. And to us who live here, have we thought that to be living? And now, to my question, do you have any advices for us how to wait if we're supposed to be building houses, or do you have other functions in those areas? Like green areas, or Ringhörn has been incubator, or anything like that?
Yeah, we did have quite a bit of a discussion about Frihamn in our group, and my first reaction was, let's build the Manhattan of Gothenburg there, because that'll bring in a hell of a lot of money to the city, and it would showcase one element of the identity of the place, which is this kind of pseudo high-tech, fast-paced, capitalistic, etc., etc. thing. But then I was shut down by my team, and they said, "You've got to be crazy." So we kind of then we sat down and then we started rethinking about that. But that area is mobile; it can be moved. Many things can happen there. Nothing is fixed, and we just decided that it could be greened for one time, 5, 10 years or something, 6 years maybe, and then see what happens there, see what the uses are there. Oh, we were thinking also of having a fish pier there, a big one, so that there will be people coming from the north and south there for a destination that was a little bit of shopping, a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit also of sensorial feel for the city, which at the moment we don't have that much. Yeah, so these were our thinking. So nothing is fixed as far as we are concerned. So we are putting solutions that are pretty much open to change also.
I think in Madi's presentation he showed that this park can be something else. It doesn't have to be the topology of a park like the park of the 19th century that we all love. It can be a new park that looks and works different, much more flexible, much more. So I think it's hard maybe to imagine how things can develop, but that's also the excitement of the development, that because otherwise you just get the ready-made and you exactly know what to expect and you know that you're going to be disappointed. That's the other way to do it, what also most of the cities do in the end. So you have to go a little bit on a trip and also take part in the decision making, influencing the decision making, giving opinions about what is going on. I think that is the excitement in the end that could be new and different to what the normal thinking is about the city growing.
Not exactly where you're heading, but with vision.
I mean, the central station is the sort of most important, maybe multimodal interchange in Scandinavia in the future. And if you look upon the accessibility capital around such a station, I think you should really consider to use the ground for different functions, urban functions here, because that is sort of an asset for the future. And you can also reduce car traffic very much if you allow people to live and work so close to this communication node, because you cannot avoid transportation mobility. You have to be mobile in the future. Now, to use, I think, of course, it's very nice ideas about the park, but we discussed this very much about how to utilize the area so close to the accessibility capital. But I think in the process, ideas could be combined also. It's possible to combine ideas of park and also locations for urban functions.
I say thank you very much for sharing your ideas, your visions.
Thank you very much.